everyone. Welcome to the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm Alexa Dat. We've got a really special show for you today, and it's mainly special because you, the fan, get to drive this show. You get to ask the questions live right here in the Chatting Cage, and you get to do that with our special guest today, the architect of the World Series winning Astros, the GM, Jeff Luhnow. Without further ado, let's welcome Jeff Luhnow to the show right now. Jeff, first of all, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on all your success recently. And looks like you brought a little sunshine to the show today.
Well, thanks, Alexa. It's great to be on. Chatting Cage is fun. I've watched it before. I'm pleased to be on talking to the fans directly. And, yeah, Florida's great this time of year.
Yeah, it looks really nice down there. We have a little bit of cold weather up here north, but I'm sure we'd all rather be down there enjoying the sun. So, like I mentioned, the way we do the show is to have the fans ask you tons of questions. So I hope you're prepared for this. The first one comes from Jack Murray, and he wants to know right off the bat, what were your favorite moments from the World Series?
We had such an incredible postseason, and there were so many amazing moments. Bregman hitting the home run off a Sale in Game 4 of the DS, getting swept in New York and then coming back and having our fans so energized and winning those last two games and having Lance McCullers finish off, I don't know how many curveballs he threw in a row to finish off Game 7 of the CS. And then obviously the World Series, Game 2, one of the more epic games I've ever seen in my life, and then Game 5, the most epic game I've ever seen, those two. But nothing beats finishing Game 7 and getting out on the field and celebrating with the staff and the fans and the players. That was the most special moment of my career for sure.
Yeah, probably something that will play over and over again in your mind and in Astros fans' minds forever. And good thing you have the tape to be able to relive it whenever you need to. All right, we have a fan who wants to ask you a question. Thanks so much for joining the Chatting Cage. What's your name and what's your question for Jeff?
Hey, my name is Ryan. I'm from Houston. I just wanted to ask if there was anybody who had stood out in spring training so far.
Oh, we've had a great spring training. Our starters have all been healthy. They've all been striking guys out and throwing strikes. I think among the young players that are competing for spots, J.D. Davis and Max Stassi are two guys that have been playing well, that are positioning themselves well. But overall, we've had a really good spring. Kyle Tucker, one of our top prospects, has hit 4 home runs and just seems to be hitting the ball hard every time he gets up. So it's been exciting. It's been a very successful spring for us, and we open up 2 weeks from tomorrow, so we're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of fans are excited to see Justin Verlander in his first Astros camp down there with the team. Now, a full season of Justin Verlander will be something I know that you are really excited about. By the way, a fan question here from Sarah Burton. She wants to know what you got Justin as a wedding present, because we know he got married this offseason.
Well, we allowed him to skip the parade and go get married in Italy. I think the World Series was all he was really looking for. For a player like Justin, who's had been to the World Series twice before but never won it, to be able to come over at this point in his career and join a team in progress like we were and then end up with the result. I mean, I think that's the best present we ever could have given him.
Well, one player who was definitely at that parade was Josh Reddick. He was doing a lot of celebrating throughout the postseason. Megan wants to know on Twitter what your reaction was when you saw Josh Reddick's celebration there, wearing just his birthday suit pretty much and a little bathing suit when he was doing his champagne showers.
Well, you never know how players are going to celebrate. I thought it was a really fun way to do it. There's always one colorful character in the clubhouse. A couple years ago, we had Colby Rasmus wearing goggles and not much else beyond that. But it was fun. It was expression of who Josh really is. And, he was the one that got a chance to present the President of the United States with the jersey the other day. And he wanted to do it. And he was wearing an American flag as a handkerchief and red, white, and blue. So it was fitting for him.
Yeah, overall, Sonny wanted to know how your experience was at the White House and what you took away from being there. It's such a, monumental moment for you.
It was an incredible experience from start to finish. They spent a lot of time with us. They let us walk all through the East Wing and see all the different rooms and take pictures. And so many of our players were in awe. I fortunately have been able to go there before, but never had a chance to go in the Oval Office. To be able to go in there and spend some time with the president and then get on stage with all the dignitaries there and really celebrate what's an incredible accomplishment. The first championship in franchise history the first baseball championship for the state of Texas was really incredible. And these sorts of opportunities don't come around too often. So I was really appreciative to be a part of it.
By the way, this is the Edward Jones chatting cage, and if you are watching and want to ask Jeff a question, all you have to do is click the green button below to sign in or sign up and get in line to ask Jeff your question. Just like this fan did, who has a question for you. What is your name and what's your question for Jeff?
Hi guys, my name's Jackie. Jeff, besides the players on your own team, who else around baseball are you most looking forward to watching this year?
Well, I look forward to watching the players in our division, and Shohei Ohtani, who I had seen when I went to Japan a few years back, he's now in our division. We're going to be facing him plenty. So obviously all of baseball is curious to watch him. He's been a tremendous star in Japan. But, I get an opportunity to watch Mike Trout and Albert Pujols and Robinson Cano and Nelson Cruz. There's so many good players in our division, and then, of course, in our league. So, but mostly I look forward to watching Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa and Alex Bregman and Justin Verlander and Dallas Keuchel and the guys on our team, because we got a pretty special team coming up this year.
Yeah, well, speaking of the AL MVP, that's our EDJ question of the day. What's it like watching Jose Altuve up close each and every day?
It's really incredible. He is tireless. He works harder than anybody. And every year he finds a way to accomplish more than what he did last year. I don't know what else is left after winning the MVP and winning the World Series, but except to maybe do them both again, maybe. And I wouldn't put that past Jose. He's our franchise player. He's been here since before I got here, and I'm so happy that there's no better gift for a new general manager than to inherit a player of Jose Altuve's talent.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a long line of fans who want to ask you a question. Our next fan up here, what's your name and what's your question for Jeff?
Hey, my name's Ryan from Houston. My question is, Altuve won the MVP last year. Do you think he could do it again?
There's no question in my mind Altuve can win multiple MVPs in his career, and why not start this year? He's a healthy player who plays good defense. He runs the bases well. He's starting to hit for a lot more power at this stage of his career. And he works his tail off, and he's a great teammate. So I think he's got a good chance. He was third 2 years ago. He won it last year. Why not? Let's do it again.
Well, we know that Jose Altuve is very popular with Astros fans, as well as Justin Verlander, Carlos Correa. But I feel like the most popular member of that franchise has to be your mascot, Orbit, especially around baseball in general. Have you ever been pranked by Orbit, Jeff?
I personally have not, but I go down to batting practice every day, and I've seen the shenanigans that Orbit does with our division foes. Mike Trout and Orbit, for example, have a very long relationship. They're always doing something to each other, and it's a lot of fun for our fans. Orbit really was a creation of 2013 when we introduced him. I think he flew down from outer space and was introduced, and he's really, to me, one of the best mascots in all of sports.
All right, so Gibbsy wants to know on Twitter, because we have Orbit and he gets kind of crazy and is a little bit wild, what about a Mrs. Orbit to potentially help keep him in line?
It's not a bad idea, and I know there have been Mrs. Fanatics and other things. But Orbit every once in a while does don a dress, and his inner lady comes out. So that's kind of fun. And quite frankly, Orbit, I think, has been kept in line. But just a tremendous personality.
Yeah, a lot of fun. All right, another fan for you. We have a question. What is your name and what is your question for Jeff?
Hey, my name is Johnny. Jeff, I was wondering, how did you and your staff put a championship team together?
That's a great question, and it started with a plan in 2011, recognizing where the Astros were and what was the quickest path for us to get to competitiveness and then stay there. It took some really good draft picks in Carlos Correa and Lance McCullers and Alex Bregman and a bunch of others. It took some good trades that worked out in our direction, and bringing in Ken Giles and Musgrove and Davinsky and some other guys. And then we complemented all that with some free agent signings, bringing in, trading for McCann, bringing in Beltran, bringing in Charlie Morton, and then making a big blockbuster trade last summer for Justin Verlander and another one for Garrett Cole. I mean, it's always a work in process. It takes every aspect of baseball operations working well together to accomplish the goal, but we were fortunate to have opportunity to see all of our success last year and hoping for more this year.
All of our fan questions are pouring in. Everyone wants to pick your brain about what's going on with the Astros this year. Eric wants to know what we should expect from Ken Giles and Evan Gattis.
Two great players that have done a lot for our organization, and Ken Giles has been pretty much lights out his last couple outings here in spring training. His stuff is electric. He has one of the best fastball slider combinations in the game, and despite some struggles late in the postseason last year, he's going to be a guy that's going to get a lot of quality, high leverage innings for us this year, and we're counting on him. And Evan Gattis, we know he can hit for power, we know he can catch, we know he can hit for average, and we need to see the whole package again this year because Evan Gattis is a big part of our offensive equation. We had the best offense in baseball last year, and I think we've got a chance to repeat that with the bats that we have in the lineup. And whether Evan's DHing or catching, he's going to be getting at bats and hopefully driving the ball out of the ballpark for us.
Hey, Jeff, Strohs fan on Twitter wants to know how you unwind. What do you do in the offseason? I know you've been busy adding a couple pieces to this team, but also just, away from baseball to kind of relax your mind.
I spend time with my family. I have a 3.5-year-old at home and a daughter in college and a son who's getting ready to graduate from high school. So they keep me busy, just family time basically. But as baseball executives, we don't get a ton of time to unwind. But that's okay because when you're working in something that you love as much as we do, we love this game, it doesn't feel like a job. It feels like we're just blessed to be here every day, and that's good enough for me.
Absolutely. All right, Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Congratulations on all your success and good luck this season. We look forward to seeing it.
Thanks, Lexa. Thanks for having me on.
Take care. All right. And thank you to all fans who participated. This is what drives the show, your questions. So whether you contacted us on social media or whether you signed in and signed up to register to get in line and ask your question, we appreciate all of it. Thank you so much for hanging with us here in the cage. This has been the Edward Jones Chatting Cage. I'm Alexa Dat. We'll see you next time.